The national capital registered an AQI of over 400 at several locations, with the air quality having slipped into the severe category. Adding to the woes, smog resulted into very low visibility. Health experts have advised children, the elderly and those with respiratory conditions to take special precautions. They've urged people to avoid outdoor exercise, wear masks and avoid unnecessary outings. Meanwhile, strict anti-pollution curbs have been imposed across Delhi NCR. Authorities have invoked Stage 4 of the Graded Action Response Plan. One of the most significant steps under GRAP-IV is a complete ban on construction and demolition activities across Delhi. Schools in the capital will now be operating in hybrid mode. The measures also include the closure of stone crushers, mining operations and associated activities across the NCR, as these are considered major contributors to dust and particulate pollution. Further, transport restrictions have also been tightened at this given point.
So Delhi is waking up this morning with a dense fog all around. I'm here at Akshardham temple, the road right behind me heading to the national capital. And there you see all the cars, all the vehicles that are moving on the national highway is literally going invisible right after 100 meters. Visibility here at Akshardham stretch is less than 100 meters. And in fact, just across the lane, across the driving lane, there's Akshardham temple, which is literally disappeared, has gone invisible. And the fog is literally falling like a raindrop, and that's the prediction was by the Met Department that another 3 to 4 days it will be the Gangetic Plain and across northern plains will witness a dense fog. In fact, the road that I traveled through from Ghaziabad to Noida, the visibility is slightly better. But as you see on the rest parts, you look at the highway patrolling vehicles are also being alerted because of the fog situation. All the vehicles are moving with the fog lamps on, and that explains why it is so furious. In fact, the GRAP-IV provisions have been invoked by the Commission for Air Quality Management in the National Capital and NCR region because of looking at the extreme pollution, because the fog-like situation and the low surface wind speed will add further to the deteriorating air quality, and unless and until the wind speed picks up, this will not be clear. Look at it. The distance between camera and me is hardly a couple of feet, and the fog is so dense that even literally a hazy images that will appear on your screen. This is 7:30 a.m. I'm at Akshardham temple, and look at the fog-like condition. This is not even the month of January when we witness this extreme fog, dense fog situation. At Akshardham temple in national capital, this is Ashutosh Mishra for India Today. The situation in Ghaziabad is no different than Greater Noida. Eventually, the Delhi NCR pockets highly where the AQI level is deteriorated, the GRAP-IV invokes. We see the visibility even in Ghaziabad in this pocket is affected. The residential area, because of the fog, most of the vehicles flying even morning at 7 to 7:30 have turned their fog lamps on. This is the second day of the foggy season for the northern belt, as the Met Department predicts the movements of the cloud and the formation of fog all across the region. And because of absolute low surface wind speed, which is less than 5 km per hour, and which maximum could expedite up to 10 km per hour, unless the wind speed picks up, clearly the smog, the air pollutant which are suspended in the ambience will not be cleared. So all the hopes only on the nature, as in when there is a western disturbance or a wind speed picks up, clearly there is no respite. The GRAP-IV provisions have been invoked by the Commission of Air Quality Management, but unless the strict enforcement is taken place by the concerned agencies, the situation will remain what we see in this season of absolute, the NCR becoming literally a gas chamber. In Ghaziabad, this is Ashutosh Mishra for India Today. The pollution in NCR and northern states are so severe, the Commission for Air Quality Management has invoked GRAP-IV provisions, which mandates complete ban on constructions, even the schools in the national capital to go on a hybrid mode. The offices, the establishments have been asked to work with 50% strength and 50% work from home. That's a hybrid mode. But what we see all around in the visibility that we see severely, since Saturday, the fog-like condition have started developing in the northern state, including Delhi NCR, and the visibility that you see on the Taj Highway in Greater Noida is somewhere around 400 to 500 meters, along with a dense layer of fog that is quite visible. However, the meteorological situation has added to the mood, and that we see the deteriorating air quality in the Delhi and NCR because of the fog-like condition, and no high wind speed that has been picked up so far in this weather has clearly added to this situation, and that's why you see with Delhi, Ghaziabad, Faridabad, Noida, and all the adjoining areas are highly polluted. Now, essentially, what is mandated, the dust needs to be cleaned. Clearly, we have seen only neglected by the authorities and the officials, the agencies responsible. But since the GRAP-IV strict provisions have been invoked, We have to see whether it is going to help anyways the Delhi NCR, which is highly polluted. In Greater Noida, this is Ashutosh Mishra for India Today.
यहाँ पर पोल्यूशन जो है वो कंपैरेटिवली थोड़ा ज़्यादा मेरे को लग रहा है। हालांकि ठंड के कारण धुंध भी बढ़ गई है, बट एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स जो है वो मेरे अकॉर्डिंग यहाँ पर थोड़ा पुअर चल रहा है इन कंपैरिजन टू फरीदाबाद। और आई थिंक लोगों को इसके लिए कुछ सजग प्रयास करने चाहिए अपने से। हर बार हर चीज़ के लिए हम सरकार को दोषी नहीं ठहरा सकते।
कोई सेफ्टी मेजर्स नहीं ले रहे हो, ये उनके सिर्फ अपने जेब भरने के तरीके हैं। इससे कोई पॉल्यूशन कम नहीं होगा ग्रैप-IV लगाने से या ग्रैप-III लगाने से। उन्हें चलान करने, इकट्ठे करने पैसे, उसके तरीके हैं उनके वो कि BS-IV चलेंगी, BS-VI नहीं चलेंगी।
नॉर्मली जब हम लोग वॉकिंग के लिए यहाँ पे आते हैं तो एज़ कम्पेयर टू महाराष्ट्र के हिसाब से दिल्ली में तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा ये दिख रहा है। यहाँ पे तो सांस लेने के लिए भी कभी कभी दिक्कत हो जाता है। सो इम्प्रूवमेंट होना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, क्योंकि जहाँ तक एनवायरनमेंट बेटर रहता है ह्यूमन का हेल्थ बेटर रहता है। बहुत ही वर्स्ट कंडीशन है। हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं और ये करते हैं, आशा करते हैं कि हेल्थ एनवायरनमेंट जल्दी सुधार जाए।
गवर्नमेंट को कुछ करना चाहिए सही में। इस बार तो हद ही हो गया है, काफ़ी ज़्यादा पोल्यूशन हो रहा है। मैं तो कहता हूँ ऑड इवन भी स्टार्ट कर देना चाहिए कि कहते हैं ना, जिससे कि कहते हैं ना पोल्यूशन में थोड़ा हो, और लोगों को कुछ ऐसा कुछ पोल्यूशन के लिए कुछ जलाना वलाना नहीं चाहिए, जिससे कि कहते हैं ना पोल्यूशन में थोड़ा राहत मिले लोगों को ना। और ये हमेशा का ही है, तो नेक्स्ट ईयर से भी गवर्नमेंट को थोड़ा अलर्ट रहना चाहिए इसके अकॉर्डिंग।
With that, let us cut across to Ashutosh Mishra, who continues to be with us on the broadcast. Ashutosh, let's understand one thing. People this time seem to be saying that the pollution situation across the NCR is worse than the previous years. Now, initially there was a delay in implementing GRAP-III. There was an entire debate on that. But now we see in NCR, we have been seeing that GRAP-IV has also been invoked. That is the situation in the national capital region. What exactly seems to be the reality on the ground, though? If you could just compare some of the stats that's come in from the previous year to the current situation, and also a sense of what you feel on the ground, given that you've experienced it previous years as well and this year. Is the situation indeed worse?
It is indeed worse. Previous year, even previous to previous year. This year, this is like literally pathetic. And the reason you already mentioned, there has been delay as far as implementing GRAP-III is concerned. There has been delay in a lot of terms implementation. There have been violations. I have reported myself from Greater Noida. Everywhere you see something is a uniform, is the dust lying there. There are construction activities unchecked going on. No sprinkling of water, no contamination of the dust particles. In fact, the air sucking machine, those mechanical sweeping machines, they are more polluting dust than actually the cleaning one, because clearly the idea was somewhere influenced by the Europe, the kind of dust they pick up on their routes and the kind of hydration on the roads that we have. Eventually, all these mess up, the neglecting. The official agencies fail to follow their duty, following these anti-pollution norms. So clearly, all that has literally contributed significantly in terms of neglected by the agencies. Implementations of the GRAP norms has been clearly a core reason. And at the same time, let's not forget the meteorological factors. Because since November, we haven't seen any western disruptions. We have seen 2 cyclones in the eastern side. And largely what happens because of these natural activities, it often brings western disturbance with a higher wind speed. Rest of the year, rest of the time, we have seen at least a light shower, moderate to light shower, that eventually, dips the temperature further. But that time, this intervention we haven't seen yet. And because of the meteorological factor, the surface wind speed remain as low as 10 kilometer, 5 kilometer per hour. And because of that, and again, formation of fog all of a sudden since yesterday started developing, which is going to be at least for a couple of more days. So unless there is an intervention, so meteorological intervention has not taken place. And because of the low surface wind speed, these all factor has contributed making AQI deteriorating further, dipping further the AQI across the NCR.